So those of you that follow the channel know that I'm a lawyer, and during my working time, I worked in Midtown Manhattan. Now, I've been retired for a number of years, and so I don't get down to Manhattan that often, but I was there today, Wednesday, and as a result, I stopped by my old LCS, Midtown Comics, and I bought some comics. Stay tuned for the video.
Anachronic.
Hi comic book guys and gals, I'm Joe and welcome once again to Anachronic Comics. So as I mentioned, Midtown Comics used to be my LCS when I worked in the city. And the one that I went to was generally the one on 40th Street, which is a bigger one in my view. The other one that I frequented occasionally was the one at Grand Central Station because that's where I take the train. So today, Wednesday, when I got there, I went to the Grand Central Station store of Midtown Comics. And I picked up a number of comics that I wanted. I don't have a pull list really anymore, so I generally will get my comics through the mail, but sometimes I don't order them on time, the ones that I'm interested in. And so I end up getting them, or trying to get them at least, when I get to a local comic book shop, Midtown Comics, like today. So let's see. Well, let me start off first. One cool thing that Midtown Comics usually has are either bookmarks or little, I guess, ID cards that usually have a cool character on it. This is Moon Knight, and the back has the different stores that are there. So I usually pick up a few of these. Sometimes I throw them into some AOKs, or if I've sold a comic, I'll throw it in there. Matter of fact, Action Figure Comedy was the winner of our comic book crowd giveaway. These are his books. I'll probably throw in a few of these things in there for him. So besides that, one other cool thing that they have is comic shop news, which I usually pick up and take a look at when I'm there. And very cool on this one, they have I'd say a frameable picture of SpiderMan on this one. And that's because it's the main story. Unveiling an all-star Spider-Man, which I'll read a little bit later on. Okay, so let's see the comics that I got. So I'm only reading a few titles, and so I didn't pick up some of them last week and the week before, so I was thankful that I was able to find them at Midtown. So the first one I have is, these are from a week or two ago, is Dark Crisis #2. Now, I actually haven't started reading this, but I will. As you'll see, I picked up #3 today as well. So I want to get into it now and see exactly what's happening with it. The other one is Nocterra #11. And obviously, these will have to be bagged and boarded. Okay, and the next one is King Conan #6. I believe this is the last in the series. I was waiting to get all of them before I read this one. I've also picked up, now I've always collected Amazing Spider-Man. I didn't read all of them after #55 because I was kind of got disgusted with it, though I do have them downstairs. But I'm starting to read the new volume, and this is #4. I used to pick up all the variants and all this. I'm only picking up 1 or 2 copies of each now. This is #4. Amazing Spider-Man. Here's #5. Copy I picked up. I also picked up today, this is the July issue, so I'm not sure whether it's the old one or not, but I picked up DC Connector so I could take a look through it. Okay, what else do we have here? A new thing that I thought I'd pick up the first one and see what comes of it is Edge of the SpiderVerse. So I picked up actually 2 copies of this, two different covers. Here's one. And it's got this new Spider Rex in it. So I thought that was a little bit kind of cool. And this one, that is Spider Rex right in the middle. We'll see what that's like. Next one, now this I did not plan to pick up or read necessarily, but when I saw this cover, I just loved it. Mary Marvel, the new champion of Shazam. Isn't that a great cover? I don't know who is cover. Probably should have looked this up. Who might have done this cover? Let's see if I can get a quick answer here. Oh, I see. Yeah, this is the Joshua Middleton. Yes, this is the Joshua Middleton cover. Isn't that great? Look at that. I mean, it's hard to take the cover by out of the guy. So occasionally I just have to go for a cover. I'm not sure I'm going to read this, but I just fell in love with this cover. All right, a couple more. Yes, Dark Crisis number 3. There were a lot of cool covers on this one, but I just picked up this particular one here. Variant cover by Lee Weeks. Understated, but poignant. And the last one is a real thick one. It's Amazing Spider-Man number 6. All right. This is the Legacy number 900. And again, there were a ton of covers on this one. And I looked through a bunch of them. It was hard to decide. I said to myself, I'm only going to pick one. I'm only going to pick one. So I ended up going for this one. By, I think it's JC Mounts. I think that's the name of the person, but it just spoke to me. Look how cool this is with his with the villains around him and hanging down. Very cool. So that's the haul that I took today, Wednesday, from Midtown Comics. Some from a week or 2 weeks ago, and some from this week as well. So coming up early next week is part 2 of DC versus Marvel Battle of the Comic Book Values. If you didn't see number 1, I'm going to put a link here at the end and downstairs. Make sure you watch it so you're set for number 2. In number 1, I looked at all of the comics issued by Marvel, which was Atlas at the time, and DC, that was actually National Periodical Publications in 1960, and set out the top 10. Next week, so we're going to have part 2, which is the top 10 from 1961. So take a look and see who won 1960, and I think you're going to have some surprises with respect to 1961. All right, so make sure you tune in next week for that, and watch last week's so you can be up to date. Thanks for watching. Please consider giving this video a thumbs up. Be well, and I'll see you soon.